Welcome to a real recollection of a 2023 horror film based on a popular video game series. The film follows Mike, a troubled security guard who takes a night job at an abandoned pizzeria, where he discovers that the animatronic mascots are haunted by the spirits of missing children. Will he survive 5 nights of terror, or will he become their next victim? Mike Schmidt, a mall police security guard, was fired after hitting a careless father who he mistakenly thought was a kidnapper. It is suggested that he talked to a career counselor named Steve Raglan. Raglan offers him a job as a night guard at a family restaurant that used to be called FREDDY'S Pizza, but is no longer open. During a meeting with social services worker Dr. Lillian, Aunt June, and Mike, Aunt Jane demands that she take custody of Mike's younger sister, Abby. She says Mike isn't fit, especially with the assault and losing his job. The social services department implies that they may take Abby away from him and give her to Aunt Jane because it doesn't look good that he doesn't have a job. Mike is reminded that Abby loves him and is the center of her world, so he calls Steve back and accepts the night security guard offer. Mike arrives at FREDDY'S Pizza to start work that night. He starts his first night shift after receiving a phone call from Steve, who explains security, electricity, and the rules of the job. He tells him to watch over the animatronics and not let anyone break in. Mike secures the building and is walking around when he hears something fall. He looks around and pulls open curtains when he is startled by the blue bunny animatronic Bonnie. After further inspection, he notices the rest: Chica, Foxy, and Freddy. Mike goes back to the security office and goes to sleep. While he is asleep, he has a dream in which he's in a park with his family and sees his brother Garrett being taken by an unknown person. After this, Mike turns around and notices 5 unknown kids who saw the theft. He starts to question them about if they saw who took his brother, but they run away right after Mike finishes his question. Mike chases but trips on a rock, causing him to fall and wake right away from his dream. After waking, he just chops it up to being a new part of his dream. His alarm signals that it's 6 a.m. His shift is over, so he goes home, where his sitter Max has been staying with Abby. We jump to a scene with Aunt Jane, her lawyer, Jeff the troublemaker, and surprise Max. We find out that Max is spying for Jane to dig up dirt on Mike to help her get custody of Abby. During the conversation, it's suggested by Jeff that they break into the restaurant and mess it up to get Mike fired. Skip to Mike's second night on the job, and Mike is sleeping. He has the same dream in which he sees himself as a witness to his brother's kidnapping. Mike is again confronted by 5 kids in his dream. He asks them for help if they see who took his brother. They run again, and Mike almost catches one, but the boy turns around and with a hook on his hand cuts Mike's arm, resulting in him waking up. A police officer named Vanessa meets Mike at the diner on the second night. She seems to know a lot about the building, notices a cut on his arm, and helps bandage him up. She tells him about some of the history of the building and tells him that it was closed in the 1980s because 5 children were deleted there, and their bodies were never found. Vanessa takes Mike on a tour of the restaurant. Mike is given a tour of the business by Vanessa, finishes his shift, and locks up the building. After Mike gets back home, the troublemakers break into Freddy's and start busting up the restaurant. The restaurant's mechanical mascots, Freddy, Chica, Foxy, and Bonnie, come to life as soon as the thieves enter the building and start deleting them one by one. First Carl, then Hank, and finally Jeff. Max, Abby's sitter, enters the building looking for the rest of the guys and is taken out by Freddy. Vanessa shows up at Mike's door and lets him know that Freddy's was broken into. She shows him the pills she found and accuses him of not locking up correctly, which is part of his job. Mike tells Vanessa that he has been taking sleeping pills every night to help bring back the same dream and figure out who took his brother when he was little and why the case was never solved. Vanessa told him he should stop trying to bring back the past and appreciate what he has now, and she threw his pills into the water. Mike is trying to reach Max, not realizing she's been deleted, and because he can't reach her, Mike has to take Abby with him on his next shift. Mike, seeing all the mess, puts Abby to bed and starts cleaning up the mess. After cleaning, Mike goes to sleep and has his dream. This time, one of the kids talks to him and offers to reveal more about his dream if he gives them something, but before finding out what, he wakes up. Mike hears Abby screaming and comes to check on her to see all the animatronics surrounding her. He goes to defend her but starts backing up when Freddy approaches him. She comes out to say they are her friends and were just tickling her. Mike's shift is over and he takes her home. Once they get home, Mike takes notice of Abby's pictures and puts it together that Addie's friends are the ghosts of the missing kids from Freddy Fazbear's in the past. Mike starts his next shift, bringing Abby along, and he sees Vanessa is already there. Vanessa and Mike talk, and Mike confronts Vanessa about knowing so much about the animatronics in the restaurant. Vanessa dances around answering questions and notices Abby is about to strum Bonnie's guitar. She tries to warn Abby, but it's too late, and Abby is shocked. Abby wakes up, and Vanessa starts to worry more and more about Abby's growing friendship with the animatronics, so she tells Mike not to bring Abby to the restaurant anymore and threatens to hurt Mike if he brings her back. Mike is able to get Jane to watch Abby, which makes Abby unhappy, so that he can go back to the restaurant during the day and take too many of his sleeping pills. Abby is mad about this. Because of this, Abby is getting more and more angry. Mike goes back to the restaurant, takes pills, and goes to sleep. His dream starts, but it's different this time. It's Mike's dream and his family is together. The kids show up again in his dream and tell him that he can stay with Garrett for the rest of his life if Mike gives up Abby. Mike thinks about it but ultimately says no. After this, Mike is beaten up several times by the kids and is knocked out. When he finally wakes up, he is hooked up to a torture device that is trying to cut off his face, the same one that deleted the security guard in the beginning. He's able to get out of the machine and is trying to get out of the restaurant, but he is in very bad shape. During this, the blonde boy took over Freddy and he deleted Jane at Mike's house before taking Abby back to the restaurant. We see that Vanessa found him and patched him up. Mike tells Vanessa in great detail what happened in his dream. Vanessa tells Mike that the animatronics are not just occupied by the ghosts of children who have died, they also have their bodies. Vanessa then told Mike that she is the daughter of William Afton, the serial deleter who deleted his brother and the other 5 children. This shocks Mike. What makes Mike even more upset is that she tells him that they are planning to try to delete Abby soon. This news shocks Mike. He goes to the restaurant with the tools he needs to turn off the animatronics and free Abby, whom Chica has been holding hostage in the backroom area of the business. Chica plans to delete Abby by smothering her in a spring-locked mechanical suite and then trying to delete her. This puts Abby in danger. Mike sneaks in and is able to disable most of the animatronics and save Abby. While trying to escape, Chica's cupcake hits him, and this separates him from Abby, who runs and hides. Foxy finds and attacks Abby, but Vanessa is able to protect her. They are trying to get to the front door and leave the restaurant, but the yellow rabbit shows up and it's Steve wearing the old Spring Bonnie outfit, bringing the animatronics back to life. It turns out that Steve is actually William Afton, the one responsible for Garrett's death. William has the upper hand, but then Abby starts to paint a picture of William deleting the kids while Vanessa distracts him. Abby is doing this because she knows they need to know the truth. Right away, the animatronics become hostile toward William when Abby shows them the drawing she made of him. The moving cupcake takes a bite out of his suit. This sets off the animatronics spring lock system, which squashes his body. After that, the pizza restaurant's main characters swarm toward him and circle him. Mike and Abby start to leave the restaurant. They grab a hurt Vanessa and carry her out of the restaurant with them. Skip to the future, and the social worker has noticed a vast improvement in Abby and tells Mike whatever he's doing to keep it up. They go to visit Vanessa, who's in a coma in the hospital. Mike shows that he cares about Abby, and in the end, they go back to living their normal lives. We hope you enjoyed this movie summary, and we invite you to watch the full movie for more details, twists, and scares. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.